Yeah. So, can you talk about the kinds of services that are available for families there in Singapore?
Sure. So in Singapore, actually, it's quite compulsory where we send our child for vaccination. So there will be like milestone checks at the same time. So when they do suspect a delay in the development, the clinic will actually refer us to the hospital. So when we're at the hospital itself, there is going to be a few assessments done to determine on the diagnosis itself. There's one of the things that government actually give to extend to actually create awareness as well about the development milestone. And in case our son is actually suspect or diagnosed, they will actually recommend us to go for we call it EPIC Center over here. So it's an early intervention center where all infant and children with disability go to. They given support system as well to prepare them for the admission of their mainstream or for them to go special school after 6 years old. And after that, there's also special school as well to support them. In the mainstream, there will be also special needs educators as well who are trained to take care of these kids. In other words, government also do give talks as well for all the parents out there to give awareness. So these are the initiative that is given. There's also subsidies as well for parents, but of course depending on your financial tiers at the same time. So all these are actually given as well from the government.
That's great. So, even with all of this government support, there's still some kind of shame that families feel about being public about their child's diagnosis.
They do. Because as I shared, it's because of when we were younger, there was no educational understanding of this disability. So I think it would be good that, moving forward, new generation, there's this kind of educational understanding as well. What kind of disabilities there out there. And that's where when they grow up, they tend to be more accepting and understand that when my friends are like this, it's because they are special in their way. Because for now, this is lacking in terms of awareness. That's whereby kids are just being kids. Their occupation is just to play, right? So when they feel that
Hmm.
their friends is a bit different, then they will tend to like, I don't want to have to be your friend or something like that. So in terms of when they were younger, these things are not exposed at all.
Hmm. Right. And it's so important to educate the youth because they're the future generation.
Yes, definitely.
Is there any ABA therapy in Singapore, applied behavior analysis?
Okay, so there is ABA services as well in Singapore, be it by the government or be it by private therapists as well at the same time. So if you're actually interested to find out more, for the rest who are actually looking for answers, you guys can actually tap into any of the ABA services out there. Everyone is actually trained to do so because in order for them to be certified, they have to go through several years of experience and training as well. So all these are also available out there. In any case, if you're
Okay.
wondering, yeah, what is ABA?
Okay, great. And when you were looking for services for your son, was what was that experience like? Because sometimes parents, they, just go to Google and they, so much information, misinformation comes up also. How are you, as a parent, able to choose what's best?
Okay. So for me, I did a lot of research, really a lot of research. Like you say, go to Google, search, whatever therapies there out there for our son. So for me, when I do the research, I also tap on communities as well. I try to join whatever support group out there in social media. I try to follow whatever Instagram there is and understand a bit better. I do a lot of callings. I do ask questions as well at the same time. So that's where you decide what's best for your child, because some of the I would say places, like example private institution, they do have like trial. They let you come in first, do some assessment, and you have a sense somewhere or other, are you comfortable with how they actually handle your son? Are you actually comfortable with how the assessment works? And then from there you decide. Because I'm pretty much lucky actually, when the first time I actually chose the private setting center, that was the first, and then that was the last until today.
Mm.
So,
Hmm.
in other words, it's important for you to actually do the research. It doesn't matter how long it will take, but do that research and have the gut feeling. And I think your gut feeling will never go wrong. Just decide from your gut feeling that is this the one.
So, are there any services for adults?
For adults, at the same time, there's also some, I would say, private space as well that for therapy for youth. So for these youths, they also go there to actually learn in terms of social skills, what they can do for employment as well. There's a few organizations that also give employment for autism as well. So these are a few platforms that they actually created to make sure that they give support as well for those special needs.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Okay. What kinds of services does your son receive?
Mhm. So at this point of time, for him, I would say the weaknesses is because of his speech. So I'm currently sending him for speech therapy every week. Um, I did share just now about EPIC, or we call it EPIC over here for the early intervention. But even that, you got to wait for a while, like 6 to 9 months. So that shows like how many autism child or even special needs child is out there. It's a waiting list that we need to wait. So aside from waiting, that's what I do. I'll send him from private speech therapy to help him while waiting for the admission.
Great. And is he able to communicate with simple words?
Yeah, I'm really amazed that I'm actually not expecting that he's able to actually speak in sentences right now. The difference between having a special child and a child who is able is that when you hear them being able to recognize colors, simple things like that, or even let's say transportation, you just find it like wow, it's amazing because child at 3 or 4 years old, they'll be able to speak and tell you like, I need to go to the toilet, so on and so forth, but our child can't. So when me as a special needs mother, when I actually hear that coming from him, it's really amazing. The happiness is way different than any others could actually feel about it. But he's coping well at the same time. Even a teacher saying that he's coping slowly but surely, of
Mm-hmm.
course. Yeah.
Can you tell the story of maybe the first time that you heard him express his needs?
hmm So the first time that I actually heard him expressing his needs is when he wanted to go to the toilet. So he was actually saying in Bahasa, saying that, Mom, I want to pee pees. So pee pees basically I need to actually pee. So that was the first time I was like, where did you learn that from? Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like he's expressing himself because most of the time he would either like try to show gestures. Of course, we do not want him to continuously showing gestures. But when he says that, I was like, wow, that means you've been learning
Mm-hmm.
from school or you've been learning from whatever I've been repeating every time, every day. So yeah, in other words, I feel that we shouldn't give up. Even if you feel that, they are not listening, they are actually listening. It's just that they didn't time to process all this as well.
You've been watching Autism Knows No Borders. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Also, we'd love to hear from you, so let us know what you think in the comments section. Click here to watch this interview in its entirety. You can also find us on your favorite podcast app. Tune in each week for engaging conversations of how people across the globe are inspiring change and building community. Thanks for watching. Take care.